Well, again, everyone, welcome to the cooking class for May for the Moms for Wellness Club. And also we have other guests from other programs at Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies. You guys know that this is a sponsored class by them, and we have a cooking class every month. I'm super excited to teach you the recipes tonight, and you're going to also get them. Okay, a little bit of logistics. Put your view in a speaker view, and then you will see my screen and the other screen with the food. So I have two screens. So one is for me and one is so you can see the whatever I'm doing in a little bit of close up, okay? Everybody should write their name, and I'm going to start very quick. The menu today is a quick dinner that you can make in honestly 40 minutes, and you can also utilize leftovers. So what are the leftovers that I'm going to use today? I have a mashed potatoes that we did on Sunday for breakfast or Saturday. And the mashed potatoes, you know, I don't want to be eating mashed potato every day, so I'm going to reinvent it. I'm going to add it with cauliflower, and I'm going to put some scallion butter in it, and I'm going to teach you how to make a compound butter that you can use in other preparations. That's one of our side dishes. The second side dish is a sauteed vegetables. Why I love to do this recipe, super simple. And you can, I had a head of cabbage that was going bad. I have a piece of white cabbage, another little piece of red cabbage, purple cabbage, and I have some spinach that were also going bad. I bought it I think almost 2 weeks ago. Cabbage is something that I love to use. I use it in soups, I use it in my chicken, in my rice, and I love to saute, and I'm gonna saute with aromatics. Aromatics are onion, garlic, some spices, and I'm gonna put this all together. I'm gonna put a splash of lemon juice. And that is a good way to utilize your greens and your vegetables. And cabbage give you a lot of fiber. Cabbage is also very fulfilling. If you see my Instagram, which is in my name here, you can see my Instagram. Go and follow me on Instagram, guys. I do a lot of recipes with cabbage, stir fries, and it's one of my favorite. Even the taco salad that we did in person a few days ago, it has also cabbage. So cabbage is amazing to have it at home always, and it lasts 2 to 3 weeks in the fridge. Okay, so, and we're going to use and cover top our chicken with a pineapple and mango salsa. This is very simple. You know, salsa is 3-4 ingredients. It's onions, you know, some lemon juice. You can put tomatoes, jalapeno. And this one, I have mango and pineapple leftovers. So you cut it all together and season it with salt and pepper. Maybe put some cilantro, jalapeno, and you have an amazing salsa, which is sweet and it's going to combine very well with the chicken. Okay, so first things first, let's marinate our chicken. Because it's a weeknight dinner, I have 4 boneless, skinless chicken thighs, the best, because you can cook this 12 minutes, you marinate it for 12 minutes, 10 minutes, and it's going to be amazing. And we're gonna kick it up a notch with our jerk-inspired marinade. Those of you from Jamaica, please, this is not an original. And I know that the jerk seasoning is different in every house. It's like the recaito, right, for us. And we all have a different components that we put in it, a different spice. Maybe some of them has soy sauce, some of them has the spicier chilies, or, you know, the combination of sweet and sour and spicy is different in every household. And that's what is great about it. You can make it your own. So I'm going to start making my marinade. You can do it by hand in a bowl, or you can blend everything. But let's do it quickly. I'm going to have some, and I call it this, you know, I don't measure it, but you can, I'm gonna send you the recipe and you will have the recipe for you to do it, and then you modify the way you want it. So I'm gonna have soy sauce, definitely garlic. You know that I don't cook without garlic. A good maybe 3-4 cloves of garlic. There's never too much garlic. Never. I'm gonna put some, these are a piece of leftover onion and leftover peppers that I had in the fridge. I chop it up. I'm gonna use it for the veggies and also for my marinade. So it's yellow peppers and some onions. I'm gonna put it in my marinade. I'm gonna put a little piece of scallion, right? And now the spices. So I have some thyme, dry thyme. Cayenne pepper. I am not putting any chilies in this one, but if I have a jalapeno or a red chili, I will put it in there. What I'm doing is putting a little bit of cayenne, a little bit more to give it a kick. I know you make it your own. This is a little bit of oregano. And I'm gonna make the flavor of the garlic and the onion a little bit more, I don't want to say pungent, but a little bit more strong by adding some onion and garlic powder, not powder, granulated. I like to use the onion and garlic granules or granulated instead of the powder. Most of my recipes goes with those because the powder is like, I don't like it. It's like very like cakey. Now I'm gonna put a lot of pepper. A little bit of salt. And just a tiny bit of olive oil. It could be a teaspoon. You don't have to put a lot. And to kick it up another notch, I have this chili garlic sauce, which is very, very spicy, but I'm gonna put just a touch because I already put cayenne. Of course, cannot be missed. Lime juice. Without this, but remember, when you're doing a marinade, if you're gonna marinate this overnight, don't put the lemon juice. You put the lemon juice very, very little, a touch, or you can put the lemon zest when you marinate for longer time, because you don't want the meat to start cooking with the lemon and the meat gets a weird texture. So just be very careful with that. If you have like sour orange, I will put a little bit of sour orange, or actually this doesn't have any seeds, hopefully. So I'm putting it in there. Yeah, it doesn't have any seeds. And if you have orange, which I'm going to do now, but my orange are the other corner, I forgot to bring one. I'm going to put a little bit of orange juice as well to give that sweetness, because you always want to have that balance. When you're doing something spicy and acidic, you want to have the balance of something sweet. But remember, we talked about sugar last week. I don't want to add some more added sugar into my day, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some, maybe a little bit of honey and orange juice, fresh squeeze. Don't go away, I'm coming. So I'm getting my orange and I'm getting allspice, which is a distinctive flavor for this marinade. I have these amazing blood oranges. They are on sale. This one does have seed. They're beautiful if you peel them and you put them in salad. I did a salad last week for one of my clients. I did a bitter green, like dandelion greens, endive, with this dressing, blood orange dressing and raisins. It was so good, guys. She loved it. She said that she couldn't believe how great that combination was, because if the greens are bitter, don't avoid buying them or eating them. You just put other ingredients that will complement it, like raisins, and make a dry fruit figs. Actually, I think I put figs, dry figs, dry, what I love besides figs, apricots. Okay, so here I have my marinade. I'm gonna blend it. You can put it like this if you don't have time, but I'm gonna blend it. It's a minute, and all the flavors are going to blend. Oh, I forgot the allspice. But the allspice, guys, is a very little. It's just a pinch. Oh, I love the smell of allspice. So I'm gonna put just a pinch. I have these little tiny spoons. Can you see this? For my spices. They're plastic. You can buy it like in Party City. Oh my God, I love it. Because I can use it for my spices. Okay. Now we're good. Blend it for a second. I'm gonna put the mute. Wow, this is so delicious. I wish you could try it. Uy, qué rico. So good. I can taste the heat like in the back of my throat. The allspice give it an amazing, if you don't have allspice, get it for this marinade, because it really makes a big difference. It's sweet and spicy and delicious. Now I'm gonna put it all over my chicken. And the best way to marinate your meat, and actually I have a video about that today, is with your hands. With gloves, or make sure you do this in the sink. So now we're going to make everything else before we cook the chicken. This chicken is going to stay there getting happy and flavor. I'm going to put just a little bit more of salt and pepper on top, but yeah, the marinade is done. Desiree, can you please read me the comments? I can't see the comments.
They want to know if they will get a copy of the recipe.
Yes, yes, dear. We will have a
He
copy.
will email you guys the recipe.
Yes.
But you have to put your names and your emails, so she's able to send you the recipes. And she'll post the video on YouTube.
I think we have, yes, exactly. I think we have everybody's email, but just in case, if you want to put your email, put your email. Thank you, Desiree. That was great. Okay, I'm gonna put the chicken on the side and continue with the next recipe. Okay, make sure you always deal with chicken in your sink. Obviously, I can't do it in my sink while I'm doing the class, but I always do it in my sink. I always put a bag or something under, so nothing gets any chicken. Okay, so now I'm going to work on the puree. What I have here is a few pieces of cauliflower. I did broiled cauliflower and there were some leftovers that I said, I actually left some on purpose to put it in something else. You can pickle the cauliflower. I love, if you like the tangy and the vinaigrety of the pickles, and if you're feeling like it, right? Because some of you with the pregnancy, I have different tastes now and likes different things. So this is great, and I think I cut a little bit for my pickled vegetables, and then I left, this is about a cup of cauliflower. And what I'm going to do is simple. I'm gonna put water to boil, and I'm gonna add a little bit of salt to the water. You can even put a little bit of garlic in the water. And usually, when I usually don't boil the vegetables, but of course I want this to be cooked pretty quick because we're going to make it quick today. So what I did is I cut it very, very, very little pieces. So it's easier to mash. We're going to mash it with the potato that is left over. So we're using several leftovers in this dinner today. So I have, the water is boiling, and I'm gonna put my cauliflower. Okay. Very, very little pieces. And you know, have you done cauliflower rice? So cauliflower rice is, you clean the cauliflower, you cut it in kind of the same size, and then you blend it in the food processor, with a little bit of salt and pepper, and that's your cauliflower rice. It's called cauliflower rice because it looks like rice. So you stop blending them when it looks like rice. And you can just eat it raw, or you can just saute a little bit of garlic, olive oil, salt and pepper, and then you eat it like rice. So it's not like rice, it's the look. So cauliflower is another vegetable that lasts long in your refrigerator. It's very versatile. You can put it in curries with your chicken. You can roast it in the oven with paprika, with a little bit of salt and pepper. And you can have it with chimichurri. You can broil it, cook it in the oven, and then serve it with chimichurri sauce. And you can make it in puree, you can make it in rice, you can make it in pizza. Maybe next time we do a cauliflower pizza. Okay. So I think I have enough. I even have a little more. So what I do with this one, what I do is put it in my pickled vegetables. Okay, let's let it boil until it's very, very soft. You want it really, really, really soft. And then when it's really, really soft, what you do is we're going to drain it very well. We're going to put it back in the same container that you cook it, and we're going to mash it there with a little bit of milk. You can have regular milk or plant milk, whatever you want. I'm going to keep it vegan and use plain unsweetened almond milk. And this is a very important tip. When you buy if you want plant-based milk, some people like that for their smoothies, make sure it says the word unsweetened in the front, because if not, it is sweetened. And then you adding extra sugars to your daily doses of sugar. And instead of, having that added sugar in the milk, you rather put a banana or put an apple or put a few raisins or a little bit of honey or maple. So you control what you're putting. And it's also, you can add a sweetener or a sugar that is going to give you also a little bit more in terms of minerals. Some of them are absorbed slower, low glycemic than just, the sugars that are added in the stuff that we buy. So that's your bonus tip for today, right? So while that cooks, we're going to make the compound butter. And that might sound like something complex, but it's not. What is compound butter, guys? It's the butter, usually unsalted, that you let it come very, very soft. I have kept this all day outside, so I can mash it with, with a fork. And this compound butter, what I'm going to do is compound it with flavors, okay? So I'm going to add, this is scallion and garlic. So I'm going to add some, the green part of the scallion. I'm going to, you can do this in your food processor, but I'm going to do it by hand because I like the little pieces of the scallion. And let me check. Oh yeah, it's already getting, because I cut it so small. You see here in the close-up? It's like rice. It's already getting soft. Awesome. So I'm going to chop my scallion very, very well, like really, really, really well chopped. Very little. That's what I'm saying. You can do that in a food processor if you want. And this is about a stick of stick of butter. And I'm gonna leave some for my vegetables as well. So I will put some of the scallion in the butter and some of the scallion in the vegetable. Actually, or maybe not. So what you want is, you want a punch of flavor in your butter. So actually, yeah. I'm gonna put a little bit in the vegetables as well, because this is a lot of scallion. Is very, very strong. Scallion is a family of the onions. This is a good way to chop your herbs and it's less dangerous. So you open the palm of your hand on top of the knife and you do like rocking motion and you can chop your herbs like that. So I'm gonna put about 2 tablespoons, and you can do this with chives or with basil. The problem with the basil gets like wilted very soon. So I like to do it with chives, with thyme. Thyme is very nice as well. So I have about 2 tablespoons of the scallion. You see the green, I can smell it. See, so I'm gonna put, actually, I think I'm gonna put it all, because after all, it's a scallion butter, right? So let's throw the scallion in the butter. Don't do that. I forget that I'm giving you a cooking class, so don't do that with your knife. Be very careful with your knife. Okay, so you see, I can see the green in my butter. So that's what I want when I see it. Now, you can put fresh garlic too, but I prefer granulated garlic because when you're cooking with this, usually I put it at the end and the garlic is gonna taste raw. But if you put it like if you wanna do garlic butter, I like it with raw garlic actually. So let me get my garlic. So I have granulated garlic. And I'm gonna put about 8 teaspoons. And I'm gonna put pepper and salt if it wasn't unsalted, but this one is salted, so don't put more salt. But I like to make it unsalted butter, so I put my own salt. So this is garlic, this is scallions, and I'm gonna give it a try. This is to use a dollop. You can put it on top of chicken, on top of fish. I'm gonna taste it. A little bit more garlic. And I'm gonna check cauliflower, and I'm gonna teach you a trick for your compound butter. This you can freeze, and I'm gonna teach you how you freeze it, and you can use it like little coins. Okay, give me back. Will we have a question in the chat, Desiree?
No, just we had someone join us now, so I was just writing to put their names and their emails for the recipe.
Thank you. Okay, so I got a piece of plastic and put it in my cutting board. And I'm gonna grab my butter. This is when you're gonna freeze it. However, if you're gonna use it right away, you can leave it for a week in your refrigerator and use it. But when it's for Thanksgiving time, I make a really big batch and then I do it in the food processor. I put fresh garlic, thyme, you know, oregano. Oh, I love it with oregano as well. And then I make logs. I'm gonna make a log, put it in the middle. I'm gonna leave some for this week and the rest, I'm gonna freeze it. So now I'm gonna make, can you see my, okay. I'm gonna make like a log. I'm a little bit uncomfortable here with that. Okay. I have to move this a little bit. Okay, much better. See, I'm making a little log. And it doesn't have to be perfect, right? You roll it. And you freeze it, right? You close the corners. Boom. You can put it in another bag, put a label so you know what it is. And here you have a compound butter log. You freeze this every time you need it. You just open your plastic with a sharp knife. You cut a little piece and you put it in your chicken, in your fish, in your potatoes, in your broccoli, and whatever. Just a little piece because this is pure butter. So it's just a little bit. Don't tell anyone I told you to put a lot. But when you use good ingredients, you don't need to put a lot, guys. Okay, so I have my little log in here and I can use this a month, 2 months, 3 months. Well, it may not last that long. Okay, now we have our butter. Let me check if, oh, did I just grab that from there? Okay. I think this is good, but I'm gonna check. So this is my, oh yeah. You see, I can smash it very easily with a fork. I'm gonna turn it off. Now, the trick here, guys, is to make sure it's very dry. You don't want a wet, mushy mash, okay? So I'm going to drain it in the sink and come back and put it in the same container I was cooking it. So it takes all that moisture out. You know what I mean? So with a strainer, I strain it and I put it back. Put everything back. Okay. And I'm gonna turn off the heat. I'm gonna leave it there while I'm going to do the next step. I'm going to grab my old mashed potatoes, the leftovers mashed potatoes. It's cold and hard, obviously. I'm going to smash it a little bit. And I'm gonna add some, I'm gonna make a regular milk. It's perfectly fine. Make sure it's unsweetened and it's original. It doesn't have any vanilla because it had happened to me before. So I'm gonna add about 1/4 of cup. Remember, you're gonna get the recipe. I don't cook with recipes, so I'm eyeballing everything. And I'm gonna put it in the microwave. You can do this in another pot, but because this is a quick dinner, I'm gonna put it in the microwave for a minute so I can add it to my cauliflower, okay? Okay, so we're almost ready. Next step, we're gonna do our veggies. We're gonna make our veggies and our chicken and plate and eat. I'm hungry. Who's hungry? Okay, so now I have the veggies here, garlic. Okay. Oh yeah. Very hot and it's softer. Make sure it's hot. Not that hot. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put it in the pot with the cauliflower, okay? So I have a very little pot. You can make this in a bigger pot. So what I wanna do is mash the cauliflower a little bit more, see? I'm gonna mash it here in the pot. See how easy? Oh, I think it's frozen. So frozen? Yeah. See, I'm mashing the cauliflower. And these guys, why we're adding cauliflower and amazing mashed potatoes, right? You're adding more nutrients, you're adding vitamins, minerals, more fiber, and you are reducing the amount of starch because starchy vegetables like potatoes, the body converts it in sugars. And of course, we need carbs, good carbs, but not too much of it, right? So I'm mashing my cauliflower and I'm going, because this is still not too hot, I'm gonna put it in the pan. If not, I will just add it all together and put the butter. You can see here. I'm gonna turn on the heat low because I don't want to burn my puree, right? Making sure it's really hot because I'm gonna put my butter. This is the Chive Butter for the mashed potatoes. I'm gonna put, that's like a like a tablespoon, about a tablespoon. And now I'm gonna put mashed potatoes. You want it very, very hot. You don't want your potatoes to be cold. You want your potatoes to be hot and the milk to be hot when you add it to your cauliflower and the butter. And it's gonna have that nice greenish color. I love green in my food. Don't you know that already? Okay. Sure. You can hold a little bit more of the butter, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. I'm a pepper monkey. Okay. Now, that's my puree. I'm gonna turn it off. And we still have two components to make, right? So what are we going to do with this puree so it doesn't become horrible? Another trick. Pay attention if you're sleeping over there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cover my mashed potatoes very well. Give it another try. Oh yeah, it's good. Spoon. Okay, what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna put a bain marie, a baño de Maria, so we call it in Spanish. I'm gonna add water in my pot and I'm gonna put it in the stove, not here because we're doing the class, but when you're cooking, you put water in the stove, you clean it a little bit in the same pot, you put water to boil, like very little, very low heat, and you're gonna put your mashed potatoes on top of that water simmering. You cover your mashed potatoes with plastic, very well covered. Okay, you cover with plastic, and then you cover it with aluminum foil. But I'm not gonna put aluminum foil because we're gonna do this quick and it's not that long. But if you're gonna take a little bit longer making your food, you put plastic cover, aluminum foil, and you're gonna put it like this. Imagine there's water in here. I put the water half simmering, then you see the bubbles, and then you put this on top. Ding! That is the perfect way to conserve all your purees. So when you get the puree, it's like fresh. Okay? That's what I'm gonna do in the back, in my other stove. You just have to make sure when you're doing that, that your bowl is not gonna go down. So the pot has to be big enough to hold the bowl, but not too big that the bowl is gonna go down. You understand, I hope. Okay, now we're gonna make the vegetables. because my chicken is still marinating with that jerk amazing seasonings that we did. Okay. You can do this with any veggies that are leftovers. You can have cabbage, kale, spinach, broccoli, cauliflower, asparagus, green beans, whatever. This is a quick saute. And instead of putting a lot of oil, what I do is I use stock. I can use veggie stock or chicken stock, whatever I have in my fridge, or water. Yep. I always have vegetable broth. If I buy it or do it at home, which is super easy, you can even keep all the scraps of all your vegetables, put it in bags, then just boil it with garlic and onion, maybe a piece of ginger, and that's it. You can boil it and put it, strain it and put it in little cubes in your fridge, and you always have it. So this is how I teach you to cook with no oils or very minimal, because we did put some butter in our potato. So we don't need to be putting more oils in our vegetables. We put a little bit of oil in the marinade, very a touch. And the key is to let the stock or the water become hot. Not to evaporate, but just become very hot. And then you put the vegetables. Always first the aromatics. The aromatics are onions and peppers and garlic. You always blend that first. Okay, so I'm cooking the aromatics first, and I always sweat the onion and the pepper first. What did I just do? Did I turn it off? It's like sweating means like make it a little bit softer, translucent before I put the garlic, because the garlic gets better if you cook it too dark or if you burn it. So I'm going to cook that for a minute. Then I'm going to build the flavors that I want, right? So because I have a jerk marinade, I have my scallion butter, I have the salsa that we're going to put on top of the spicy chicken. So you think of what flavors you're going to put in this. So I don't want a ton of flavors, because we have a lot of flavors already in the chicken, in the mashed potatoes, in the salsa. So I want it very mild. I just want some garlic, some lemon, maybe some thyme, whatever of the spices I have already used. Maybe oregano, because I'm already using those spices in the marinade. So you put some of the spices you're already using, so it match what you're doing. You're not going to put a weird spice here that is not in any other. Sometimes it does. It does go well. It all depends if you like it, right? That's what I love about cooking. You can be creative, you can make it your own. And when you cook, when you go and buy food that is already done, is the taste of the person who's cooking or whatever they decide to do in that restaurant, right? But in your home, you can make it whatever you like, with ingredients that you like, and make it different. Some people tell me like, okay, I only like one vegetable, broccoli. Okay, how many ways have you done your broccoli lately? Oh no, I only boil it, or no, if you only like broccoli, be creative. I make so many things with broccoli. I love broccoli, actually. And you can make so many things with broccoli: raw salad, cooked salad, soup, stir fries, rice with broccoli, whatever. A lot of things. So I cooked that for about a minute. Now I'm going to add the garlic. Okay. Get a better, cleaner spoon. I love garlic, so garlic is never enough for me. So 1 good teaspoon. Okay. Cabbage. I like to salt my cabbage because it start to wilt a little bit. So while my garlic is cooking another minute, you want this cook, but not like with color. We don't need to give it any color. What I keep doing is putting a little bit of the stock or water. And there, if you're using dry herbs or spices, you put it here. And then you create that delicious mush, flavorful. So I'm gonna put some pepper. A little bit of salt. You don't have to, but it's really not necessary. Ooh, we can put a little bit of allspice, of course. Touch of allspice in the spinach is delicious with nutmeg and allspice, maybe two. I don't know. First time I'm doing this, so let's try. Oh yeah, I love it. Ooh, smells delicious. And I have just put garlic, onion, pepper, salt, and allspice, and it smells delish. So I put a little bit of salt in my cabbage, and that's the first vegetable I'm going to put because cabbage needs to be cooked a little bit more than the spinach. So the garlic is cooked, and you want to put the dry herbs and the spices at the beginning of cooking when you have a little bit of when you're doing that, the aromatics, because you want to, with the heat, the spices gets more, their aromas and their flavors get activated with the heat and with the oil, if you have oil there. So I have plenty, I still have plenty. I have plenty. I want to make sure I don't have too much vegetables and not enough aromatics, or too much aromatics and not enough vegetables. So I want to have a good combination. You see the pan, you can see the colors. I love it, guys. I love to cook with vegetables because it makes me happy even just to see them. So much color. And let it cook a little bit. Put a little bit of stock. I'm gonna get cilantro. I don't know, how come I didn't get my cilantro out? I put cilantro in everything, even in my green juice in the morning. Let me get cilantro. And I said I was going to put a little bit of thyme. I was supposed to put it before, but we didn't have it here. Okay, just a touch. Now, when it's wilted, instead of making a salad, I like at night eat like more warm food, and warm milk too before going to sleep. I'm making, sauté vegetables, which is delicious. I'm putting my spinach. You can actually put a little bit of the compound butter, very little bit, just a touch on the weekends. No, this is, you know that I told you that this is not the time to be on a diet. It's a time to be conscious and eating better. And this is a great meal. So you can put a little bit of olive oil at the end, or a little bit of touch of the butter. very little. Okay, but this is for my honey. I want him to eat it too. So he's a big man and he's not checking on his calorie for sure. Okay, so that's it. I just want to wilt it. I'm going to turn off the heat and I'm going to put a little bit of my favorite herb in the world, cilantro. Apologize to all the other herbs that I have just offended. But cilantro is my favorite and will always be my favorite.
Does anybody else have a favorite herb? I like cilantro.
Cilantro, right? I think we're from the Caribbean, and I'm going to put another strip of the scallion. I love scallion as well, but not too much. We have a lot of flavors in everything. It's just to give it a little bit of color, and we're going to finish with a splash of lemon. Okay, a little bit of herbs, fresh herbs always. Don't do that with your knife, please. Don't do what the chef just did. My knife and I, we have a 20-year relationship. It will not cut me. But this one is newer relationship, so just got jealous, my spatula. Okay, so here you have your sauté vegetables. A splash of fresh squeezed lime juice to spark the flavors and, you know, make it more fresh and lively. But you see, I am not killing my vegetables. They are al dente. They are flavorful. They're not greasy. They're not too dead, right? So that's how you want it. You want it when you eat it, you want it to, you know, have that crunchy, although they're cooked, but you want to have them crunchy. And that's one of the things that people do when they make vegetables. They cook them so much that they're not great. Vegetables are amazing. They are sweet. They have their different flavors. And when you start learning how to use them, you start finding those flavors and distincting from one and another vegetables, right? Here we have purple cabbage, white cabbage, onion, pepper, garlic, cilantro, scallion, spinach. What not to like? Smells great. I'm gonna taste it now. Perfect, guys. Perfect. It has that zing at the end with the lemon, the allspice in the back. Oh, exciting. Okay, veggies are done, puree is done. Let's finish with the chicken. Okay. So these pans are amazing. You can finish these pans in the oven, or you don't need to put any oils. So it's great. I'm going to make my pan very hot. So now we're going to make the chicken. Okay, now we're gonna make the chicken. I'm gonna change the pan. I'm going to make the chicken in this bigger pan because we have two pieces and I don't want them touching together. I want this one now. And you can wrap your vegetables with plastic and aluminum foil, and you can put it also in the oven very low. When you're making multiple dishes, you can turn your oven in the lowest setting when you start cooking, and then you can put the food in the oven as it comes, as you make it, and everybody eats hot, because the worst thing is eating a cold food or be warming it in the microwave after you have been cooking, slaving for an hour, and then you just have a meal that you have to cook, warm it in the microwave. No, that's not cool. So I'm going to warm a little bit of the stock for the chicken.
Does anyone have any questions for the chef? Anybody? We're so quiet. Wait.
Thank you, Desiree. Okay. So my pan is pretty hot. I've been putting a little bit of the stock. Now I'm going to saute the chicken. But as I said, this is a very good pan. I don't need to put water or oil or anything. You can just cook it straight there. So I just want my pan not to get super, super hot. I'm going to wear gloves, or make sure you do this in your sink. I'm going to take the chicken of the marinade and I'm going to dry it a little bit. I'm going to put it on paper towel. Okay. Take the marinade a little bit. It's pretty hot. Chicken. I'm going to leave some space. Never crowd the pan when you're cooking chicken or anything or vegetables, not too much, because then you're just steaming them. And you're gonna get like the grease of the chicken will start to come out. So you cook this about, I will say, 6 to 7 minutes per side. You can also finish it in the oven. I could have done the chicken and then put it in the oven while I finish the vegetables. I should have done that. You can do that. So the chicken is finishing cooking in the oven while you finish the vegetables, which is a great idea that the chef didn't do. Right? I'm gonna see if I can put another piece so I can make them all. Put them all. Oh my God. Ah, that marinade is delicious. I don't want to crowd it, but I want to cook my 4 pieces of chicken.
Oh. Beverly loves rosemary, but she wants to know, how do you keep it fresh? Do you have any ideas?
Mm. Yeah, the rosemary actually lasts long, but yeah, you need to use it, my love. Yeah, herbs are very sensitive. Like and if you what I do, and this is what what I do is I have my little plants, and when you have them as plants in the house, they last a little bit longer because it's a plant, and then you get them from there. And if they die, then you buy another plant, because the plant will cost you maybe, some places you can find it at $2.99, $3 for the little pot of plant with rosemary or thyme or basil, and then you use it from there, and it's better than buying it, the little container that they sell that is even more expensive, and they will not last long. And I use it in my salads and in everything, but rosemary is a hard herb, so it's not good if you're chewing it. So rosemary is good for stew, for like make it with butter. I love the turkey with rosemary and garlic butter. I make that compound butter with rosemary. And that's a tip. When your rosemary is going to go bad, take it out of all the leaves out, blend it with butter, put it in the fridge, and then you can use your rosemary like that. Okay. So I want my chicken to get some color, but you know that I'm not frying it. So you need to be patient in this when you're doing this. Yeah, it's getting a little bit of color, not too much. Okay. So yeah, and it's spaghetti with a rosemary tomato sauce, delicious. You can put a little bit of pancetta or even bacon. Not this class. This class is healthy, but a little bit, just a strip of bacon, and you cook the bacon and the rosemary. You cook the bacon, you get the oil out, and then you finish cooking it with the rosemary and garlic, and then you can put some tomato in there. And I love rosemary. Rosemary goes well with pork as well. So it's a really amazing herb, but you have to cook it well. Always put it at the beginning of cooking, or something that is a little bit, because you can't put rosemary like we use, basil or cilantro or any other herb that is soft herbs. Soft herbs are eaten and consumed raw or added at the end of the food when you're almost serving it. But the hard herbs are at the beginning of cooking, or for marinade, and then you take it out. Or when you're roasting, you can do the asparagus and roast it with rosemary in the oven, and then you get the rosemary out. It's just like for the flavor. When you see a lot of chefs when they're doing steaks, they put the butter and they put a thyme or a rosemary and a pieces of garlic, and then they infuse the butter or the oil with those hard herbs, and then infuse the food. But in reality, you don't need them like that. So let me check. It's getting some color. Okay, I'm gonna pick this up. So did I give you some ideas? Good, yes? Anybody else have any idea how to use rosemary? Thanks, Desiree, for that. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna check the chicken. Okay, getting some color. Nice. Whoa, like it, like it. Okay, I'm gonna start plating. Hmm, my gas just died. So you can give some color to your chicken from both sides, and then you can pop it in the oven for 10 to 15 minutes. So it finished cooking at 350, just uncovered. And if you have one of these skillet that you can pop it in the oven, even better, because you don't even have to dirty any other container. And you can put it right like this in the table. You scatter some cilantro on top, or scallions, or chives, and just serve it like that with the rest of the components. Now I'm gonna start serving them. So you see my mashed potato is very hot and humid inside because of the pot of water that was boiling. So it's gonna be soft and perfect, like if I just did it. That's the idea. So I'm going to, it's a little bit late to eat, so we're not gonna serve a lot. But I want you to see when you serve in the plate, you want all the components of the dish that you can see it, right? Like you can see that there's mashed potatoes in the bottom. You want to see the vegetables on the side. Look how beautiful that chicken is. Beautiful colors. And I didn't put any oil. Look at all the oil splashing everywhere. Oh, nice. Love it. That's what I want. Wow. Smells are incredible, guys. If we're in a rush, I'm going to This is something that you don't need to do, but because I want to have the food ready, I'm going to try to push it down so it cooks even faster. And here, you can actually do this so it cooks faster. You can pound it a little bit before you cook it, which I do with the chicken breast. So you can pound it a little bit so it's thinly. I need a block. What I do is I'm gonna go to, which I used to have, I threw it away. I have a block from Home Depot. You get a block, you wrap it well with aluminum foil, and you can make paninis. You know what paninis are?
Beverly wants to know if you're making a sauce.
No, the sauce, no, I'm not making a sauce. The sauce is the pineapple. Pineapple salsa on top. And I'm gonna squeeze some lemon juice. And the same juice, I'm gonna put a little bit of the stock, and the same juice I'm probably gonna keep the juice. It goes from my, see? You see that? From there. From the chicken. Look how awesome is that, guys. Whoa, that's awesome. I love it. That's exactly what I wanted. Now, I'm gonna okay. The juice is gonna be my sauce. And more lime. Okay. Isn't that gorgeous? Now I'm gonna let you see this part. So I have my mashed potato. I'm gonna put the veggies on the side. I'm gonna put a beautiful piece of chicken. Okay. I'm gonna add the juice. You see, this is the flavor from the marinade, and a little bit more of the lime juice. No oils, that's the oil from the chicken. And this is pineapple and mango salsa that is going to complement the flavors of the spiciness. If you're going to make a chicken very spicy, then that sauce, that mango and pineapple sauce on top, which I did with a little bit leftovers of fruits. Okay, and okay, we are done. Done. What do you think? Ta-da! So here we have it. Desiree, if you can take me a picture, that would be great. This is a cauliflower and potato mash with a Dominican jerk version of marinated chicken thighs, and some vegetables, sauté vegetables with garlic, onion, and pepper, the juice from the chicken, and a pineapple and mango salsa. That's the class for today. Thank you for joining me, guys, and you will be getting the recipes. I hope you enjoyed and you got a few tips on the way. Again, I'll see you in the class next Tuesday, or hopefully in the class next Tuesday for sure, and in the next cooking class next month of June. Wow, we're gonna be in June already. Goes super fast. I'm going to stop the recording, and while I pick up, you can ask me questions, you can open your microphone and tell me anything you want me to know, okay? Let me just, good night, guys.